Hi, I'm Christa Jacobson, headmistress of the Budo, where we teach authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai bujutsu. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai. In today's video, we're going to be doing a samurai profile on an Edo period samurai by the name of Hajime Saito. Hajime Saito was famously known for being one of the main characters in the Rurouni Kenshin anime series. However, as I've talked about before in other samurai profiles that I've done, a lot of the people that are in the Rurouni Kenshin anime series are based on real samurai, real historical figures, and Hajime Saito is one of them. He was a real samurai of the Edo period, and he was the leader of the third squad of the Shinsengumi. So today we are going to be discussing Hajime Saito and what he did historically as a samurai. Now, before I begin, I always give a shout out to all of my new viewers. So if this is the first video that you guys have seen of me, my name is Christa Jacobson. I am the headmistress of the Budo, which means School of the Warrior Way. We teach Koryu Ninjutsu and Koryu Bujutsu, so the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai. This organization does have other areas of focus, such as reality-based self-defense, weapons training and tactics, concealed carry, survival skills, martial arts theory, thought and philosophy, martial arts conditioning. If any of those subjects at all interest you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to click the bell. I do post 2 to 3 videos every single week, so if you're interested in any of those topics, please subscribe, click the bell, and keep up with what we're doing. So today we're going to be talking about Hajime Saito, who is an Edo period samurai. He is more well known for being in the Rurouni Kenshin anime series than what he is for the things that he done historically as a samurai. But nonetheless, this is what we're going to be talking about today. So before I really get going on this samurai profile, I just want to say to all of my students and supporters that I really did enjoy the Rurouni Kenshin anime series and the Rurouni Kenshin movie series that they have. And if any of you guys get the opportunity to watch it, I highly recommend it. Also, one more point, I've already done a samurai profile on Kawakami Gensai. Kawakami Gensai was a real Edo period samurai as well. He was known as being one of the top 4 hitokiri, or assassins for the government, and he was the historical figure, or the historical samurai of which Rurouni Kenshin is based upon. So if you guys have not already seen that particular video that I've done, check in the description below. There will be a link to that particular video, probably going to be in the comment section, and probably going to be at the end of this video too on some little box that pops up. So if you haven't seen the real Rurouni Kenshin, that particular profile that I've done, you should check that out, because Kawakami Gensai's story is amazing, and I can understand why they took that particular samurai and then created, in my opinion, one of the best anime series ever. Today we're going to be talking about Hajime Saito. Hajime Saito was born February 18th, 1844 and died September 28th, 1915. He was a samurai of the Edo period who was most famous for being the captain of the 3rd unit of the Shinsengumi. He was one of the few core members who survived the numerous wars of the Bakumatsu period. He was later known as Fujita and worked as a police officer in Tokyo during the Meiji Restoration. Very little is known about his early life. According to published records of his family, he left Edo in 1862 after accidentally killing a hatamoto. For those of you guys who don't know what a hatamoto is a samurai who's in direct service of the Tokugawa shogunate. His style of swordsmanship, according to his family descendants, is considered to be Mugai Ryu that originates from Yamaguchi Ito Ryu. It is also said that he learned Suda Ichiden Ryu and Sekiguchi Ryu. Hajime Saito was one of the youngest in Kondo Asami's Shinsengumi, and being among its most gifted swordsmen. Now, I can make a whole video on Kondo Asami. He was known as the commander of the Shinsengumi, and they made a lot of noise during this time period. So if you guys are interested in learning a little bit more about the Shinsengumi, or me doing a samurai profile on Kondo Asami, just kind of put it in the comment section below, let me know, and I can get that video going for you guys as well. As a member of the Shinsengumi, Saito was said to be an introvert and a mysterious person. A common description of his personality says he was not a man predisposed to small talk. Saito was an unusually tall man at 5'11". He was also noted to be very dignified, especially in his later years. He always made sure that his obi was tied properly, and when he walked, he was very careful not to drag his feet. At rest, he always sat in the formal position called seiza. That way he could remain very alert and he could react to anything instantly if something might occur. He was known for being very intimidating when he wanted to be. Along with his duties as the captain of the 3rd squad of the Shinsengumi, he was also responsible for weeding out all the potential spies in the Shinsengumi ranks, so people had to be very careful as to what they said when they were around him. He He became a Hatamoto in 1867. In the late 1867, Saito and a group of 6 Shinsengumi members were assigned to protect Mira Kyutaro, who was one of the major suspects of the assassination of Sakamoto Ryoma. Now remember when I said earlier that Hajime Saito was one of the main characters of the Rurouni Kenshin series, and that Rurouni Kenshin is based off the real Edo period samurai assassin called Kawakami Gensai? This is one of those moments where Hajime Saito and Kawakami Gensai, or Rurouni Kenshin, if you want to call him that, they would have crossed blades. They would have interacted. Now, whether they actually crossed blades, fought, or anything, who knows? But what we do know is they definitely interacted throughout the time period. They didn't really agree with each other, and more than likely, they definitely saw battle or combat at the same time in the same place. So there is lots of things that ties these two together, and I think that's one of the really beautiful things that you see in the Rurouni Kenshin series, as these two guys that kind of stood for the same similar morals, the same ideals, but they were on two different sides of the coin. And you see that a lot in the anime as well. After the outbreak of the Boshin Wars, January 27, 1868, Saito, under the name Yamaguchi Jiro, took part in Shinsengumi's fight during the Battle of Tobofushimi and the Battle of Koshu Katsunuma before withdrawing with the surviving members to Edo and later to the Aizo domain. Saito later became the commander of the Aizu Shinsengumi around May 26, 1868, and continued on to the Battle of Shirakawa. This is the point where I could talk about a lot of things with Hajime Saito, as far as dealing with battle, conflict, him crossing swords with other samurai and assassins. My point with this is, I'm going to kind of skip a lot of points at this time in his life. Just know that he was in numerous battles, numerous combative conflicts. He crossed swords with numerous people. He was an extremely battle-hardened samurai. This dude is the real deal. Saito then changed his name to Fujita Goro, traveled to Toonami, the new domain of the Matsudara clan of Aizu. He took up residence with Kurosawa Heijaimon, an old friend from Kyoto. Kurosawa was involved in the migration of Aizu samurai to Toonami and building up of the settlements of Toonami, now Aomori Prefecture. On June 10, 1874, he left Toonami for Tokyo. Yasu moved back in with the Kurosawa family. It is unknown what happened to her afterwards. However, it was at this time that Fujita Goro began working as a police officer in the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. During his life in the Meiji period, Fujita was the only one who was authorized by the government to carry a katana despite the collapse of the Tokugawa rule. In 1875, Fujita assisted Nakakura Shinpachi and Matsumoto Ryojin in assisting a memorial monument known as the Grave of the Shinsengumi to honor Kondo Isami and other deceased Shinsengumi members. I just want to make a quick point here. So, Hajime Saito was the only person allowed to carry a katana after the Tokugawa rule. The government took away the swords from everyone, right? No more samurai, no more swords, except for Hajime Saito. Like, that's how much of a badass he was. He was still allowed to carry a katana. And in the anime, you see that. He's wearing, like, the police uniform, and sometimes he dresses up under disguise as Fujita Goro, but he still carries a katana. And I think that's also, that's kind of underlining an intriguing part of the anime that a lot of people don't really pick up on. And he even makes a reference in the anime series. He tries to use one of those swords that's inside a cane, like a walking stick, and it breaks. And then he makes a comment, and he says, you know, these things are toys, they're just cheap knockoffs. Nothing is as good as a Japanese sword, making reference to the katana. And at that point in the series, you always see him carrying a katana. Anyway, I just thought I would make that fun little point because you also see reference to that in the anime series, but I do think it's really important to know that he was so much of a badass that after the Tokugawa rule, after samurai were no longer to be, and after no more samurai and no one's carrying swords, Hajime Saito was still allowed to carry a katana and work for the police department. Like, let that sink in. Fujita's heavy drinking was believed to have contributed to his death from a stomach ulcer. He died in 1915 at the age of 72, sitting in Seiza in his living room. Upon his will, he was buried in Fukushima, Japan. So there you guys go. There's a samurai profile on Hajime Saito, historical samurai of the Edo period and the leader of the third squad of the Shinsengumi. Legitimate badass is what he is. So if you guys have any questions about Hajime Saito or you want to add any more information, stick it in the comment section below. And if you guys are interested in authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai bujutsu, please check out my website at www.budoninjutsu.com. There you guys can see the 7 traditions, the philosophies, the strategies that we teach. If you don't live next to one of our schools, you guys can always join the Budo online ninjutsu dojo and start training with us today. So thank you guys very much for your love and support. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, take care, be safe, and good luck in your journey of Budo. Bye.